And today we will be embarking on commentary by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. Before we go, let's refresh our memory. The obstacle on our devotional path, verse number 4. Who is Sutradhar, who remember? What are the obstacles that Raghunath Das Goswami has mentioned in verse number 4? Anybody? No Gramya Katha, no liberation, Salukya, Samipya, Shrasti, like this. We are not interested in any kind of liberation. Even we don't want to attain the Vaikuntha planet. So that was verse number 4. What was the verse number 5? There are 6 enemies: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, and Matsarya. So we have to become free from that. That verse number 5. What was the verse number 6? Deceitfulness and hypocrisy. So we have to stay away from this. That verse number 6. What was the 7? The pride or desire to get name and fame. That is the main obstacles, and from there all other anarthas entered into our heart. And then verse number 8, that we should worship the divine couple in Braj. After we clarify all these things, purified our heart from all these obstacles, then we can really worship the divine couple in Braj. And then verse number 9 is giving, then really we can glorify the divine couple and their eternal associate like Lalita Devi, Visakha Devi, Radha Kund, and Giri Govardhan. So this is how this book has transpired us. We should remember. So let's read the commentary by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj on verse number 9. In this verse, Raghunath Das Goswami goes deep into his heart and gives us the full picture of Vrindavan. While he is writing this verse, he is sitting in Vrindavan. An elderly, very thin figure, he could not tolerate the separation from Radha and Krishna. And he wants to give us instructions how to attain success. So these are the great personality who has achieved the success. They don't keep anything secret. They open the card because they are magnanimous and they are full of compassionate nature. So once they attain something, they also help other people to come to that stage. So Raghunath Das Goswami is helping all of us. Verse 9 is a fantastic guide for meditation. So if you want to do some meditation, don't just do closing the eyes and do this meditation. These are the process to do the meditation, Raghunath Das Goswami says. So Raghunath Das Goswami starts with a wonderful picture. He calls Krishna Vraja Vipina Chandram. Chandra means the moon. Imagine this scene. There is a moon like Krishna in Vrindavan forest. Next to him is Vraja Vaneswarim, Radhika. Imagine the moonlight nights where the sand of Yamuna is illuminated by the rays of the moon, and the Brajvasis and Sadhakas are like chokora birds, mystical little birds who live from drinking the moon rays. There are birds who are like those prana, people who live on air alone. They look at the rays and they can fly to wherever they like. Difference in this, Haribo. The normal devotees are chakora birds who drink the rays of Krishna. But the servant of Radharani preferred it when Radha is the queen of the forest next to Krishna. Our Acharya Madhavendra, who started worshipping the divine couple, before that it was only they worship Krishna. When Radha and Krishna are together, the experience of taste is much higher. Raghunath Das Goswami sees himself as the servant of Radha, knowing how to relish the highest love in the billowing waves of the loving exchange. This is also the vision of our Sampradaya. So it's highly recommended that we have to come to the platform where we can know our real identity, who we are in relations to Krishna. So if we are connected with Radha, we are like leaves on the creeper curling around Krishna. And whatever Radharani experience, we will also experience. Actually, our Acharya says that, when you see the Vrunda Devi, and they have the manjari on the top, and when the wind comes, the manjari move much, much in a greater way than the other branches of Tulsi plant. So it says, as we become servant of the servant of the servant of the servant at the end, we will get a lot of emotions. Haribo. Krishna is so kind. I have heard that in Calcutta in 1930, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went into a state of ecstasy, saying, "Oh friend, Rupa Manjari, it is well known that you do not look in the face of any other man than that of your husband. And yet there is a mark on your lips as if someone has bitten them. This means that you are a servant of Radha and she is with Krishna. So whatever happens in the loving rush, we also experience. If we want something in relations to Krishna very much, we have to learn from Radha and Krishna's servants. If we want Mahaprasadam, we first make contact with the servant in order to receive it. In transcendental logic, then we also go to the best servants, headed by Lalita and Vishaka. She is the intimate friend of Radha. She carries a piece of cloth to wipe off the droplets of perspiration from Radha and Krishna. When Lalita finds someone in Vrindavan who has some inclination toward Radha, she will immediately come to that person and arrange a meeting with Radharani. We enter the divine couples association only by recommendation. Haribo. So Radharani is the life treasure of Krishna, and he is the beloved of Radha. Radha loves Krishna, and Krishna loves Radha the most. This is the divine couple. And to reach them, we need intermediaries. First comes Lalita. And we will find this point in all the Goswami's literature. She is so dear to them that she actually controls them. Do you have people whom you love? And if you love them, you trust them. Whatever they say, you do. On a Govardhan Parikrama, Bibi Govinda Swami Maharaj was there and he said, let's do the parikrama every day without rest. Because I love him, I agreed. That is the nature of love. You give your heart. Sri Lalita is controlling Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna have surrendered to her. No one ever says no to Lalita, not even the divine couple. So we pray to Lalita to recommend to Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So wonderfully explain the process. The sadhaka sits in forest of Vrindavan and chant and pray as demonstrated by Narottam Das Thakur. And she will bring that sadhaka to Lalita. Radha will say the devotee and will make inquiries about the person. Rupa Manjari will then suggest that the devotee render some service. In this way, Lalita recommends. In devotional service, we always go through this word, Hierarchy, hierarchies. First, we are bhaktas. Initially, I was forbidden to live in the temple because I was always singing Rolling Stone songs. This is Sachinandan Swami Maharaj, so nice. I was very young. Then I decided the school was too boring. I needed a recommendations to stay with the devotees. So I cleared the temple toilets. One devotee who had previously been the saxophone player with Little Richard, Narendra Das, recommended me to the temple president, saying that I was a good boy and knew how to clean the toilets. Later on, I was recommended for initiation. These are different levels of recommendations. When we are in a Vrindavan Dham, we need to behave properly so that Rupa Manjari and Lalita can give us recommendations. And we can see how menial service this exalted Vaishnava has performed. You know, if somebody asks us, we will be reluctant to do those services. But I remember during the Janmashtami time in Gauranga Hall, you know, some people are so envious or something. They will use half roll of toilet tissue. And then when the toilet is dirty, they will put the roll and stuck into the drainage intentionally. So somebody has to clean this toilet. I have cleaned many times during the Janmashtami time because it's so painful that our guests see the dirty temple. It will not give them a good impression. So this is the duty of a temple president, to look for everything. The next person to remember is Visakha. See, this is all instruction has been given by sequence. We have to move slowly. Because Visakha is addressed as a Siksha Guru in this verse, as her voice is sweeter than that of cuckoo in springtime when it eats the new mango. Visakha teaches the devotees how they can sing, and also she knows art of joking. Therefore, the devotees take shelter of Lalita and Visakha. We can take their shelter by reading Srila Rupa Goswami's Lalita Astakam and Yamuna Astakam, a prayer about Visakha in her form as the Yamuna that Bhaktivinoda Thakur already given to us. We have already recited. And finally, we should remember Radhakund and Govardhan day and night. If we just see them, even in our mind's eye, they will give us love for Radha and Krishna. So how much we should absorb in Vrindavan, this is our Acharya is revealing to us. And it's not that it may happen. Acharya is saying it will absolutely guaranteed. It is a very important point from this verse of Manahasiksha not to neglect the holy dham. The holy dham is special because everywhere Krishna has placed his lotus feet. On Krishna's lotus feet there is a rati or love, and his feet are soft, fragrant, and full of the honey of love. So if we just stay in that sacred land, we will also get some love for Krishna. But we need to come again and again because we are so dull and covered with so many desires. Therefore, repeated treatment is good for us. What a wonderful instruction. Raghunath Das Goswami wrote that those who bathe in the Radha Kund will find how the creeper of love for Radha will grow in their heart. So all these thing is there. Why? Because once you go and you may take a bath in Radha Kund, but if this transformation of the heart is not happening, what our Acharya says, we have not get no benefit of bathing in the Radha Kund. Haribol. One day Raghunath Das Goswami sat before Radha Kund and witnessed a wonderful scene. Radha and Krishna were splashing each other with water, and then Krishna splashed water right into Radharani's eyes. Everyone chastised Krishna, saying it was unfair. Radharani fled and hid herself among the golden lotus flowers so that Krishna could not see her. However, Krishna, when diving into the lotus flowers, saw gold everywhere. He had so much love in his heart that he thought he saw Radha everywhere. But he could not find her. Krishna looked up and saw a group of bees. My Radha has breath as sweet as honey. Thought Krishna, so he was also to find her from where the bees were. Then there was a loving exchange. At the conclusion, Radha put her arms around Krishna, and Krishna swam in Radha Kund. This story is based on the Radha Kund Astakam of Srila Rupa Goswami's book, Sri Stavavali. Raghunath Das Goswami felt ecstasy, which is there for every pilgrim. The Dham will reveal Radha and Krishna to us. Just by the vision of Giriraj and the Radha Kund, Rati will arise. If we are chanting and are aware of the pastimes, we might catch glimpse of Radha and Krishna, the perfect picture for meditations. So our Acharya is giving everything what we need. So we will continue this Sachinanand Swami Maharaj commentary. Now we would like to dwell in the life of Srila Prabhupada. That we should be ever grateful to Prabhupada for what he has done for all of us. Just, think that if we have not come in contact with ISKCON, how neglectful life we must have lived. How much we should have suffered because we see the materialistic people, how much they are suffering just because they have no connections with Krishna. So hopefully we should learn slowly So now we will dwell in the introduction of the volume number 5. One day in June of 1977. Let me ask Sutadhar, what was the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada? Which day Prabhupada left this world? We read yesterday. Who remember? Please say.
November 14th, Prabhuji,
Yes.
1977.
Yes, November 14, 1977. So this is just like 4 months before Srila Prabhupada passed away. He sat in his garden at the Krishna Balram Mandir in Vrindavan, India, conversing with a few devotees. Although for months he had been manifesting external symptoms of ill health, he still enjoyed sitting here with his disciple. While aromatic jasmine blossoms scented the air and the fountain gently splashed, he had been discussing various topics, including how modern godless civilization was a society of two-legged animals. Haribo. We have been dwelling on it, how much we have degraded. It's amazing. Speaking of the life in India, as he had known it as a child, he described a simpler way of living, and he began recalling some of his childhood experiences. At his birth, he said, an astrologer had predicted that at age 70 he would leave India and establish many temples. Prabhupada said he hadn't understood this prediction for many years, but that by Krishna's grace he had gone to America at the age of 70 to execute the order of his spiritual master. In America, the result of his preaching had given him great hope, and he had obtained permanent residency there, expecting not to return to India. One of Srila Prabhupada's disciples present, Tamal Krishna Goswami, spoke up, quote, "Do you regret having come back to India?" Unquote. No, Srila Prabhupada replied. My plan was to stay in America, but Krishna's plan was different. Therefore, when I was coming back, I was speaking to Dwarkadish, the Krishna deity in ISKCON's Los Angeles temple. I said to Dwarkadish, quote, I came here to preach. I don't know why you are dragging me back, unquote. So I was unhappy to leave, but Krishna had his plan. If we can understand this, our life can become so successful that everything happens in our life. We should accept that this is what Krishna wants us. Our life will become so simple if we just accept one simple thing. Haribo. Srila Prabhupada went on to say that by following Krishna's plan of living Vrindavan, and then after preaching in America, coming back to Vrindavan, he had gained the most wonderful temple, Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan. Quote, you always come out victorious, Tamal Krishna said. I have never seen you defeated. In Bombay, for example, it seems to be an impossible situation, unquote. Quote, yes, no one was interested, said Srila Prabhupada. Who could see such a big project would come up? Only you could see that, said Tamal Krishna. You and Radha Radheshwari, Rashvihari, Radha Rashvihari, the Krishna deity at ISKCON Bombay Temple. Good. But still, I was determined. They should write a book about that, said Tamal Krishna. It is a history, said Srila Prabhupada added, that is worth writing about. Mayapur also. So this present volume of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita is an attempt to fulfill Prabhupada's desire that the book be written about the struggles undergone for establishing a wonderful temple for Krishna in Bombay, as well as in Mayapur and in Vrindavan. It is a history worth writing about. So many devotees has asked me to write about history of the Houston Temple because I have walked through every step by the mercy and guidance by Tamal Krishna Maharaj. We will see. This present, the history is worth telling not only to Srila Prabhupada's intimate followers, but to the whole world. After all, it is for the benefit of people everywhere that Srila Prabhupada struggled against great obstacles to establish these three important ISKCON temples, Bombay, Vrindavan, and Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada temple meant not only a building, but a center of highest learning, an institution for teaching the science of God. He saw that people were mad after material progress, as I was saying. Our life is centered around becoming wealthy. If we derail that, we will make tangible progress. With little interest in understanding their spiritual identity, maybe 7%, 3%, 2%. We don't have that much interest. They identify themselves with the material body, center of the spiritual learning and culture, therefore were of prime importance in liberating people from that bodily identification. Srila Prabhupada's plan had been to transplant the seedling of India's spirituality in the West, and then to return the healthy plant to its native soil, where the teaching of Lord Krishna had become confused by a person representing Vedic culture. In reawakening India's own culture, Srila Prabhupada wanted especially that there be a wonderful temple of Krishna consciousness, temple for everyone's benefit. I was thinking that maybe Prabhupada will speak about the form. This story, let there be a temple, is worth telling. In the thought, it will learn of the mind and actions of a pure devotee of the Lord. We cannot expect to imitate such a great empowered devotee as Prabhupada, but we can read about his activity in this volume, and that will inspire us and show us how by persistent hard work and patience we can become successful in our attempt to regain our forgotten Krishna consciousness and become pure devotees of the Lord. This history is worth writing about, also because to hear Srila Prabhupada activities is naturally very relishable. Hearing about the activities of Lord Krishna's pure devotee is as relishable and purifying as hearing about Lord Sri Krishna. Simply by reading And appreciating Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, we will purify our hearts and advance in spiritual enlightenment. What a wonderful boon Srila Prabhupada has given. Just simply read and appreciate. Although Let There Be a Temple focuses primarily on Srila Prabhupada establishing of three major temples in India, this volume also described his varied activities as the world traveling leader of his Bergkuning International Society for Krishna Consciousness. As related in preceding volumes of this series, Srila Prabhupada wanted Krishna consciousness movement on every continent, in every city, in every town and village. So although Srila Prabhupada establishing of his three main Indian centers provide the theme for the present volume, the reader will also find Srila Prabhupada actively representing Lord Krishna and the disciplic succession in Los Angeles, Nairobi, New York, Melbourne, Paris, all over the world. So we finish this chapter. Oh, it's 6:57. Oh, I went 3 minutes more. Sorry, somehow or other. The topic is so wonderful that you forget everything. But we have to be punctual in our sadhana. So with the start, before the devotees leave, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of the lotus feet by uttering Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. So thank you very much. And I think some devotee doesn't like when I speak during the Japa time, so if I have somehow to make your uncomfortable japa, please forgive me. But the intention is that one thing we have to understand that solves all the problem. Become detached from wealth. Somehow or other. Very difficult task. My Guru Maharaj used to tell me that the most difficult thing is honey is the money. Your sincere dedication or surrender to Krishna will be measured